Okay, hand 3 now. Score has equalized a bit. They have a slight advantage, but not too big, which of course can also evaluate how much risk we have to take. So this hand, I would probably have bid that 3 or 4, going by my trend so far. Of course, the king in a suit of 2 is not the most secure point. That's often how you get set. If you have 3 kings, bid all of them and one of them gets eaten. I only have 2 spades. Usually that means I adjust by 0.5 points less, with 3 spades being the norm, and the king in the diamonds is very questionable, of course. Also first position, usually I should be a bit more conservative. I also have the chance to cut in with the 3, it's not the biggest chance, but I do have the backup in case I don't get my king point. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I think a 4 is justified actually. Okay, I bid 3, that's also definitely a fair choice. Okay, another 10 bid. We talked about it before, what kind of reasons it could have that there's only a 10 bid. Can also be people systematically underbidding, but it can also be a constellation like this, where someone like me has the king, but in a suit of 6. I can't bid my king, but nobody else will know about that constellation or will bid extra points. So that's how it often gets to lower bid rounds. I lead the king from ace king. Now of course the bit of luck we had last time makes it a bit more comfortable. We only have 1 bag, which is basically negligible. So if we want to, we can play as aggressive as we want this hand again. And in fact I would kind of like to have 1 bag more than them.
Because if the bags don't matter otherwise, having 1 more bag basically gives you a 10-point advantage, right? If the score is even otherwise. This kind of thinking might sound really foreign to someone who plays more games till 500. I would say you would be in a similar situation if the score was this, with the same amount of bags. But for these short form games that only go till 250, since bagging out is less of a threat than in longer games, it is generally established for higher ranked players that 10-bit rounds can be played more aggressively here. Of course, you don't want to overdo it either. Okay, back to the action.
Partner plays queen, could mean multiple things. Maybe he's short in diamond, that's likely, because I have long diamonds. At least one of them should be short in diamonds. Could also be that he's approaching this like a bagging situation this time. In spades you can never be 100% sure about signals unless you have all context, which I don't. We only played 1 round.
Yeah, I go for blood, I lead the ace and see what's up. Because in the case that my partner does have short diamonds, we can kind of steamroll them and he can then cut in.
If we want to maximize points.
By the way, that is also the reason why you usually don't want to lead from an ace. If you have both the ace and the king, it's actually one of, if not the best leads. Because I get to gain a lot of information with that first lead without sacrificing any of the control or ability to make a tricky point with my hand. Because I still have the second boss card as well. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that's how I know my partner. So my hypothesis that he was trying to bag, probability is lowered, he only had a singleton, drops the club now. And opponent on the right, significantly now, drops the jack. And that's what I talked about in the first hand. You should always track which is the highest card of each suit, because the jack was the highest card of diamonds that is left, given that ace, king, queen had already been played. So him dropping the jack either means he doesn't have cards in diamond left, or he wants to bag us. If I go by last time we played, he plays quite aggressive on 10 bits. So unless by collecting 2 bags he got shied away from that approach, this might mean that he has no diamonds left. And this means that if we somehow draw their spades and I end up in the lead, I can boss them with diamonds and they have no defense. I have now the 3 highest diamonds left. I take a mental note of that for sure. Let's see what I do here. I don't really want to play another diamond now,
because I don't want to see my partner cut in with a spade just to then get overruffed with a higher spade, right?
But I don't have a lead that I like. In the heart I have king and 5. Underleading the king is not my favorite. It's not the best lead. But if someone wins the point with a queen, my king will get stuffed. And I also really don't like leading from an ace.
So this is a situation where in a vacuum, maybe the ace is the safer lead. But we have the unique situation here where our team bid is already relatively assured.
Because it's a 10 bit and I have already made a point that I didn't count on.
So now it's really about optimizing every single point. And I think I have more opportunities to maximize points if I act last with my ace-jack combination.
Because if I wait with the ace, then I can potentially kill one of their higher cards. Let's see how we deal with it. Yeah, it's a fair play where we're still navigating whether to bag or set them. But if partner has the ace now, then we have a really good constellation here. First of all, I have the boss hearts and we have a little bit of a cross rough. He doesn't have diamonds. I soon will not have hearts. Let's see how this develops. But it's of course good that my partner collects this point. Partner pays attention, plays the suit I have played. Good drop. He plays the 10, again losing his medium high card. On a 10-bit, that's of course fair play. You don't want to get stuck with them. Okay, interesting. Again, the same thing. After my king, the highest card is the queen. And usually people don't just drop their highest card with no reason. It might mean, again, Play Smart is trying to bag us. It might mean he doesn't have many hearts left. My third point. And I can still make 2 points. What's going on here? Yeah, it's because I made the ace and the king. I made both points because my partner was void. So we have something going here, despite it being a 10-bit. In addition to that, I have a potential cutting point in the hearts. So I can get 3 extra points here. So my partner would basically just need 1 above. And we'd set them if all those things work out. So I play the ace, send an aggressive signal to my partner. This is called the bag set signal and it comes in multiple forms.
In bagging situations, to lead the ace at a score like this,
that means you're out for blood, so to say. So it's not a good bagging move if I wanted to give them 6 bags, but I'm not interested in that. I want to play it for the set in this case. Partner drops the 10, interesting. Also a bit of a bagging move, or he doesn't have many. Play the 7. It's interesting that I keep away from the diamonds, from what I have seen. I don't want him to cut in. And my partner drops the queen, but I now have the boss club. It can still be that my partner has short clubs.
Actually, the fact that he had thrown off the 10 in a round before, a lower card, and now the higher one, kind of suggests that he follows an aggressive strategy. Otherwise, why wouldn't he have thrown the higher one in the last round? And that in turn could have led me already in this round to the conclusion that he might be void in clubs.
Now the hearts.
Okay, what's worthy of note here is that Play Smart is dropping his 4, even though earlier he had dropped his queen. So we can say with certainty now that that was a bagging move. Whereas Rockwell is playing his jack, so he still plays aggressive. Those are things important to keep track of during a 10-bit hand like this, but also relevant for the following hands we will play with them.
But I think with this move, whatever my partner thought before, now he should be knowing that I'm going for it. Because this will be my 5th point. My partner hasn't dropped anything significantly yet. The cards were falling in a good way. But of course, it's still risky. It's a 10-bit, so we will get 4 bags if we set them. Which is worth the price if we manage to do it. So yeah. This is good. I want to lower the spades. This was my best lead here. Also good is that I exactly show my intentions. I play with open cards now. I think both sides should see what I have in mind. It's always a question, when do you open up your intentions like that? But in this situation, it is the right moment because it's already looking good for us. And now you can see my partner has caught on playing the 2 here. He drops his lowest card. Opponent on the left drops a quite high card, has only bid 1, so he maybe only has 1 more spade left. Opponent on the right also drops quite high spade. But I can't believe that at this point they still care about bagging. So yeah, I think he probably only has 2 higher spades. I mean, it's always good the more you play to get better awareness of the combination of the bidding and what cards they have played to what they still might have. It's a bit like poker maybe, where you're also always trying to find out what the opponents have, just with a slightly different dynamic. Yeah, Jack was my best lead here. Still protecting my partner from getting over-ruffed. And now, of course, I wonder what my partner has. Did he only have those 2 clubs? Oh, my partner has paid attention what the boss card is. He knows ace, king, queen has been played. And you can tell we had a very good setup here.
Like winning those unexpected 3rd rounds of a suit is always a good condition to set the opponents. And in this case, we just won that 3rd round in every suit that was played so far.
Okay, now I already won 4 points. Unfortunately, I don't have a club anymore, so I can't give my partner another cut. Yeah, I can just hope that he has 2 spade points. Yeah, and because I knew the jack of diamonds was the highest, the predictable thing happens here. He can overruff. The good thing is he overruffs high. I don't think he has many spades left, and my partner may only have spades left. So is looking good for us. Okay, he plays the king now, the boss spade. Probably he knows that my partner can cut in the other suits.
And my teammate is able to cut in with a 10 here. And then he plays the jack, the boss spade, and we win the round.
So always fun to set a 10-bit.
They started the hand with a 20-point lead, and now they're trailing by 80, so it was definitely worth it. Afterwards, they were both blaming each other. Quite understandable for getting set on a 10-bit. But if we reconstruct every hand here, we can see that the core issue already really lied in the bidding. While PlaySmart bid okay with his 1-bit, Rockwell in 4th position just bid a full point more than his hand is worth. Like, I have read the recommendation that if the natural table bid is only 9 in 4th position, it makes sense to bump it up a bit. But I think that's playing with fire, especially against two established aggressive players like us. Keep in mind also, very strong players often master the art of the occasional intentional underbid to evoke such a overbid or sloppy play from the opponents and then go for the set. So if you consider a tricky overbid like that, we're getting back to observing your opponents, how they play, and how you can adjust accordingly. Overbidding is definitely not the way against us. Our hands, like I said, matched well, so there wasn't too much they could have done differently. But there were multiple stages where we could have messed up our set from our side. For example, if I didn't cut in spades in the 3rd round of hearts, or if he hadn't remembered that my jack was boss and club and had cut it with a spade. Thanks a lot for watching. I have started to give some spades coaching, which is really fun, and if you want to improve while also supporting the channel, you can reach out to me for that.